He did it again, Rod.
He
did it again.
Who's he?
The Canadian.
The Canadian.
The Canadian. He goes by a lot of names. Some people call him Drizzy. Some people call him Aubrey.
The ambassador.
Soulja Boy calls him Drake.
Drake?
I call him a has-been, dog.
Oh, here we go.
That's what I call him.
The Drake stands ain't going to be happy with that one.
He
man.
did it again, Rod. He did it again. Just a week ago, we had an entire episode dedicated to the fact that this nigga is not making music that is age appropriate. And he did it again. But this is the most shameless, soulless, embarrassing, for the first time I could truly say this, corny attempt at staying relevant in his career.
Man, that album?
That album is terrible.
P.U., nigga. Stinks, nigga.
That shit is poop, nigga. Baby Dookie Green poop, dog.
Bro, this nigga Drake, at some point, dude, you're 36.
Gonna be 37 in 20 days.
Gonna be 37 very shortly. And you still want to sound like you 21, dog? Like, my guy, my nigga, like, it's beyond you. Like, Father Time has caught up. Let it go.
Nah, bro, I'm so tired of having this conversation. And
like,
I'm done with the conversation, right? I don't even want to talk about the album. Like, there's nothing to dissect, right? Like, I'm cool with the fact that this album isn't for me. I am 34 years old. I understand that. I have no problem with a nigga chasing a sound. I have no problem with a nigga trying to use the youth to stay relevant. My issue is that the music is bad. That's all. That's the only thing about it. It's just the music isn't bad. I mean, the music is bad. I don't care what the content of it is. I don't care what you're rapping with. I don't care really about the subject matter. Be creative. Be inventive. Dictate. Innovate. That's all I want from this nigga at this point, bro.
Far from it right now, bro. Far from it, man.
He is so lost in himself. He is so creatively bankrupt. He is so mentally immature as a man with a child. It is hard to take whatever he puts out on wax serious, right? So no, we're not going to discuss the album. We're not going to break it down. I truly don't give a fuck. I couldn't break it down if I wanted to. I didn't listen to it enough. I gave every song, and there's 23 songs, by the way. I gave every song 10 seconds before I was like, I can't listen to this anymore, dog. Because it sounds ridiculous.
It does.
So what I want to talk about is the reaction to the reaction of the album. I wish I clipped the conversation that we had a week ago about Drake and that last album and about the single that he dropped.
Right.
Because what I said is what the internet is saying now. Like, people are finally coming around and saying, yo, nigga, you 40, dog.
It's becoming more and more obvious, man. It's just blaring at this point.
Like, nigga, you 40, dog. You're going to have people who will say anything and justify bad music. I had one nigga on Twitter tell me the most ridiculous shit, right? This nigga told me when I said, yo, he should be making age-appropriate music. The nigga said, I enjoyed the album once I realized that it wasn't for me. It was for my daughter's volleyball team. So I said, I'm saying you're congratulating a 40-year-old man for making music that a middle school volleyball team could get hip to, dog? He replied. He said, my daughter is in high school. I said, so, you don't think that's still crazy?
Right. That doesn't change anything. Like, he's still not making music. He's still making, bro, what are you saying? What is he, did he really think he was cooking with that?
He really thought he was cooking with that. And that's how people, like, I'm seeing so many people saying, oh, if I think about it this way, the album is much more enjoyable. No, if the album just has to be enjoyable off the rip.
Right.
Travis Scott just dropped Utopia. Ain't nobody saying, dog, you got to listen to it like you got to put a tinfoil on your head to really get it. No. Nobody's fucking saying that. Because it's a great album.
Yeah. Right.
There's no prefixes that I have to put on it to enjoy it. If I got to do all this mental math, then maybe what I'm listening to is trash. And I thought about this. I thought about it on the way here, Rob. I figured it out. Drake is at a point where he is the iPhone of music artists.
It's a good way to put it.
He's easy to deal with, easy to understand, easy to use. But most importantly, you don't want to be the person that says that you don't like his music. Because that's essentially saying you are the person that has a green bubble text, dog. And nobody wants to be a green bubble, bro.
It's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it, man.
People who are tricking themselves and are desperate to like this album are only doing that because they don't want to not feel cool and be a part of the crowd that likes Drake's music.
The kitty crowd?
Whatever crowd. This nigga was a grown man. If you are a nigga who tells me that and your daughter's in high school, obviously you're a grown-ass man. Like, you are somebody that wants to be a part of a crowd versus just saying, hey, is this good or not? I don't need this nigga to give me a thesaurus, bro. I don't need this nigga to turn into 1996 Nasir Jones, bro. Give me an Illmatic. I'm not asking for that, dog. I promise I'm not asking Aubrey to give me Illmatic. I'm not asking Aubrey to give me Reasonable Doubt, bro. I'm just asking the nigga to give me inspired music, bro. That's all, dog.
Show me that you're trying at least. Like, you know, the thing with Drake is, Herbie, if you've really been listening to his last few drops on his albums, he's been putting out the same exact album, but it gets worse every time. Each time, and this time, it's reached the climax. Like I was telling you pre-show, me and one of my coworkers, we were listening to the album. He was excited. He was like, "Oh, Drake dropped a new album." So I looked at him like, Drake hasn't really been hitting like that. He's like, "No, nigga." After every track, I would just give him this look. I just lean my head over and just look at him, and then he would switch the song. He kept switching the song. We didn't even get through the whole album. We couldn't get. It's 23 out. It's 23 songs. We probably got through like 13. And eventually he just switched it to reggaeton. He just said, you know, let's just put this on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, it's a sad, you know, it's always sad, Herbie. Excuse me. It's always sad when one of your heroes or someone that you admire, someone that you know, like someone whose heights that you saw, right? Like Drake at one point was the biggest star in the world when it came to music. And it's always sad when you see the old dog that just can't let it go, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody reaches a point. Like, me, I'm a Currency fan. But at the end of the day, like, he evolved. Like, his music evolved with his lifestyle because he makes lifestyle rap. So, you know, eventually he got to a point to where it's like, I couldn't really relate to his music personally, but I just fuck with Currency like that to where it's like, you know what? I'm happy that you could live the life that you're rapping about. But when it comes to Drake, it's just like, Drake, you talking like... You talking like you still stuck from like 15 years ago, man. And it's just, and you know what, Herbie? To the point that you made, it's okay if that's what you want to rap about. But at least make it catchy. At least make it consumable.
Interesting.
Yeah, something.
Make it interesting, bro.
Like, make me have a beat that'll at least make me, like, even the beat selection ain't the same to me, bro. Like, everything about the songs now is just like, damn, Drake, there's nothing redeemable to me about this. And for me to be able to say that about Drake, man, that speaks volume.
And I want to focus in on that last part that you just said, bro, because that's really what I want to get into as well, which is what you say about Drake. I know he knows that this project wasn't good because this is the first time that I've seen him clap back at people in the media like this, not on a record, not on wax, not with subliminals, but like on IG and stuff like that. People are just saying, hey, it's not all that. Charlamagne the God said, yeah, this shit, your album came and went. This nigga went, oh, you always been checking for me. Blah, 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 blah. Sensitive. He know the album. He know the song was whack. Nobody fucking talks about that garbage ass shit.
Facts.
Joe Budden. And the clip went around him telling Drake the same thing that we're just saying, the same thing that we've been saying, the same thing that we said on going back to Certified Lover Boy.
Mm-hmm.
When we were like, bro, you too old to be doing this.
Big facts.
People are getting to the point where they're like, all right, bro, this is getting out of control. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Joe Budden just said, hey, dog, stop fucking 25-year-olds, man. Stop hanging with streamers, dog. You're too old to be hanging with these niggas, man. Mm-hmm. What meaningful conversations can you niggas have? And if you could have meaningful conversations, that's a problem with you. You should be so much above these dudes that you're trying to chase mentally, dog. It seems manufactured, the music that you're making. You're doing this to relate to children, but you're not a child. It only comes across as corny as fuck. But because Joe Budden says something, Joe Budden has a platform, Drake went to Instagram and
wall of text, nigga.
Wall of text. And this is the part that I'm talking about. Niggas dick glazing Drake. Niggas was like, oh, look what Drake said about Joe Budden. I'm like, did you read this corny shit?
He sound like a little hoe, bro.
Like, all I hear is a crying ass, bitch ass nigga.
That's it.
No man who's securing what he has would ever type that much to another man, bro.
He shouldn't even have responded. He should have just let it slide. That, and to the point that you just made just a few minutes ago, like Drake has been far more reactionary to this album than he has in the past. And that post, that response to Joe Budden, that is just one of a few that like the cracks are there, Herbie. Like you can see the chinks in the armor, bro. Like Drake, we can see through you, bro. Like we understand the heights that you have reached as an artist, but at the end of the day, bro, you can't live off of what you've already done. The world that we live in, Herbie, is a what have you done for me lately kind of world. That's just the way it is.
Listen, and this is the one thing I'll be in fairness to Drake. This man has given us music.
Yeah, of course.
For a long time. So Far Gone came out in 2009.
It's crazy.
That was a decade and a half ago. Like, if he never made music again, I'd be like, bro, you giving me enough, dog. I have enough music to sustain myself for my love for Drake that doesn't even touch 2017, bro. That's how much music he's giving us. That's how many verses. That's how many features. That's how many albums. Think about this, bro. From 2009 to the last project that I thoroughly enjoyed, which is More Life, that came out in 2017. I got So Far Gone. I got Take Care. I got Nothing Was the Same. I got If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I got Views. And I got More Life. That's 6 projects. Most niggas don't even have 6 projects in their entire lifetime, bro.
6 quality projects.
6 quality projects in their lifetime. I got a 6 project run. I'm good. So it's not about me demanding more. It's me wanting a nigga to grow up, dog, because it looks crazy. It legitimately looks crazy.
It does, man. It's...
Rod, this nigga tried to get on a Yeet beat. Do you even know who Yeet is?
I've heard a song from Yeet, but it
was the worst thing in the world.
It's beyond me. I seen a song that he was on with another young rapper. I actually like the song. It was
that I like.
catchy.
It was with Tizo Touchdown. The one is Amen.
No, not Tizo Touchdown. That's another dude. It's this goofy looking nigga, dog. But to your point, I watched Drake and this young goofy ass looking Chico, and I'm just thinking to myself like this is what you're doing, Drake. This is where you've stepped, dog. This is how low it is for you right now, dog.
It's that low. It's that low.
Like,
listen, bro, I get it. People are saying the pushback to my criticism is the same. There's nothing else people have. There's no other argument that they could use, so they all have to use the same argument.
Right.
Well, he's trying to stay relevant. How do you expect him to be the top artist in the game if he doesn't chase the young crowd? Does Taylor Swift chase the young crowd? Mm-hmm. Does Beyonce chase the young crowd? Does The Weeknd chase the young crowd? No. We just seen one of the biggest collabs that we've had in the past 10 to 15 years with Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. What was young about that?
Facts.
They took over the radio for a year. What was young about their music? They literally did their own homage to 70s soul. What was young about it? So what the fuck are you niggas talking about?
Dude, they can't accept the fact, they are in denial to the reality that Drake just wants to stay in the safe space that he's always been in. And that's the most disappointing part about it, Herbie. An artist of Drake's caliber at his age should be able to make music that is more in tune with where he's at and that it can still be quality. So the way things are going, what it shows me is that Drake is Drake knows that he's reached a level to where he can put out anything and people are going to eat it up.
This is what it is. It's anything.
Anything.
If Certified Lover Boy never came out, I would say, you know what? Maybe I could enjoy this album. If Views didn't come out, I could say, maybe I could enjoy this album. If More Life never came out, I could say, you know what? Maybe I could enjoy this album. But why would I enjoy this album if it's a worse version of the past 4 albums that he just made, bro? How could I enjoy it? I would just rather listen to Views.
Facts.
I would just rather listen to Scorpion. I would just rather listen to More Life. If you make me want to rather listen to Certified Lover Boy, you really put out a piece of shit project, dog.
Something bad, dog.
You really put out something bad. You put out something very bad, bruh. What?
Bro,
right.
Crazy dick riding, bro.
Crazy dick riding. All right, man. Let's move on from that, bro. Where you want to take it, dog?
Where you want to go?
Let's transition to sports, but not sports. Because there's 2 people that we want to talk about that are in sports, but the subjects are not sports related, if that makes sense.
Let go.
All right, man. I want to talk about T.O., dog. I want to talk about Terrell Owens, man.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right, so if you're not familiar and you're just listening, Terrell Owens, Hall of Fame wide receiver, arguably one of the 3 greatest wide receivers that have ever lived. I don't see anybody coming for his spot at any point in time, right? Even with these ridiculous super receivers that we have now. He was that good.
Yeah.
Him, Randy Moss, and Jerry Rice. That's the golden trinity, right?
The ultimate trifecta, man.
T.O. decided to fall into the trap that most, I'm not going to say most, I'll take that back. A lot of black athletes fall into. And it's a twofold trap. One is not necessarily a trap, it's a preference, but it can be perceived as a trap. The second is definitely a trap. And that is, I got my money, and now I want white women, dog. If you want white women, that's a preference. It can be perceived as a trap. But if you want white women, and that's your preference, you don't got to make up spooky stories about why you like white women, dog. That's the trap.
Just own it, man. Just own it, bro. Just own it, man. Because when you make the excuses, you just look worse. You just look worse. I don't understand these. And Herbie, this is coming from a man, like, for a little bit of info about me for those who may be listening that don't know anything about my background. When I was in college, you know, a lot of my friends used to kind of, well, I should say a lot of my black friends, a lot of my colored friends used to kind of get in my ass about fucking with white chicks. But, you know, and I used to tell them, like, look, man, like, you know, the black women just ain't really been fucking with me, dog, but I'm just gonna fuck with who's fucking with me. But it was never like me blaming black women. Shit just didn't work out. I never looked at it as like, well, black women they just don't like me, so fuck them. Like, no, it was never that. Like, how could I? I love black women. That's my preference. But listen, man, I'm gonna get whoever like me, I like you too. That's just the way it goes. So I guess being a person of a certain race and I guess failing with the women of your race, I guess I kind of know how that feels. But I didn't let it dictate like my entire life. Like, I still fuck with black women. Thankfully, as I got older, I guess I figured out how to kind of deal with black women to make them more attracted to me. But like, ultimately, nigga, it was never like, like T.O., you just like white hoes, bro.
And
like,
that's it.
It's like, you just capping.
Dog, the crazy part about it, right? And in fairness to T.O., right? I'm going to read his quote. I'm going to say a couple things, then I'm going to read his quote. And then we can dissect what he said. I don't want a moment of vulnerability to be used against him.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm about to do. But I don't want him to feel like he shouldn't be able to do it. He should have the safe space to be able to have these thoughts out there free of judgment. And again, I'm going to judge this goofy ass nigga.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand how in his mind he could come to that point. I vehemently disagree, but I could understand. And to what he said, he was on IG Live with Ocho Cinco. And all jokes aside, bro, I love their relationship, bro. Like, You could tell them dudes are like legit brothers, dog.
Actually, Ocho Cinco is one of the most solid dudes I've seen, like, in the medium of all the athletes talking sports. Like, he never, like, I've been watching a lot of his nightcaps with Shannon Sharp. And, like, one thing about Ocho, I never realized this, I only realized it watching it now. He never badmouths anybody. Like, even if you're talking about Daniel Jones, he can articulate himself in a way to where he could talk about, like, Daniel Jones didn't play good, but he never takes shots at him.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
And you it has to be something that he's conscious. It has to be a conscious decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's easy to call somebody trash, and it steps the line between that person is trash and they're playing like trash.
Right.
Right? Because to most people, if you suck, I hate you.
Right.
It's not your fault that you suck, bruh.
It's not.
It's really not. I know Daniel Jones wants to be the best quarterback of all time, dog. He's just not talented enough, dog. It's not his fault. Like, it's not his fault. So I love that Ocho approaches it that way. I don't. I get in the classes. But that's just me. We're conditioned to do it the way we do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we could appreciate it and say, you know what? That's possibly a better way of doing it, dog. I ain't gonna do it, but I respect it.
Yeah.
I tip my cat, dog. But to T.O., bro, this is what he said, man. And again, I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't know how that conversation started. I'm just going off of the quotes that I have. This is the entire quote, so nothing's taken out of context. T.O. said, my first experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experiences when I went to college. I tried to date some black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was scrawny. And this is my issue with it, dog. You got some white pussy, and that shit changed your life, dog. It's okay. It's okay, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Vanilla lover, man.
It ain't nothing wrong with that. Jungle fever is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, man. Jungle fever, whatever fever you got, man. It's your
Whatever
preference,
fever you
man.
got, enjoy it, embrace it. I'm not gonna look at you crazy if you walk with a white woman, dog.
Well, when you gotta throw black women under the bus, that's the problem I have with it. It's like, why you gotta say, "Oh, the black women made fun of me" and shit like that?
But this is the flaw in the argument. Every time I hear a goofy nigga say that argument, black women made fun of you. White women call you a nigger. Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?
With the hard ER.
With the hard ER. You think they don't call you a nigger? You don't think they make fun of you too?
You can't escape that. Is that what you're running from, T.O.?
No, he's not. But he has to make up something in his mind to justify the guilt that he has for his infatuation with the white cat. It's okay, my good brother. You could be the hotep nigga that only has a white bitch, dog. You could be him. It's fine, brother.
Just don't be capping about it.
Don't be capping about it, dog. The fallacy in the argument blows my mind. Black women made fun of you niggas who internalized that, and you're using that as fuel to justify your decisions to chase after women outside of your race. Black women made fun of you because guess what? You probably grew up around black women. You know what happens to white guys in middle school and elementary? The white girls make fun of them.
Yeah.
But I never heard a white man say, white girls made fun of me, so that's why I only date Asian women. I never heard an Asian man say, Asian women make fun of me. That's why I only date Spanish women. I've never heard a Spanish man say, Spanish women made fun of me growing up. That's why I only date black women.
You know what it is? Because the black men have a guilt. Because to your point, Herbie, when I think about other men that I personally know that are of a race, but they prefer to date outside their race, they never make excuses for they never attack the women of their own race. Like my white homeboys that like black women, they never go, "Oh, white girls didn't like me." They just outright say, "Oh, I just love black women." They just say like, "I just like them fat ass. I like the bodies. They say whatever they like about the women of the race. Even like Chicos, like when they like black women, the same thing. It's never like, "Oh, Spanish girls didn't like me." It's always like, "Man, I just love that chocolate." But when it's black men, for whatever reason, it's not always the case, but you see it more, if anything, exclusively only with black men. They first attack black women and then they say that's why. But it's just like, hold on, bro. Like, what are you guilty of, bro? Because this is just a psychological thing, right? Like, you're not being upfront. You're not being honest. Just say that you just prefer women who aren't black. Ain't no crime in that.
There's no crime in that.
Like, there is no crime in that. Now, when you start, trying to drag black women to make it seem like you're justified for your preference, now you just a goofy ass motherfucker. You just goofy as fuck. Like, Herbie, come on, dog. Like, you can't tell me a nigga's not. Anytime I see a nigga, and when I say nigga, I'm not talking about just a regular man. I'm talking about black men specifically. Anytime I see a black man start crying about how black women ain't fuck with him, I immediately lose respect for that person, dog. Because it's just like, bro, what are you crying about, nigga? No, first of all, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. Nobody cares. That's number one. Number two, you capping. Because especially Herbie, someone of T.O.'s caliber. T.O., you are an NFL football player. You are a tall motherfucker. You are in shape. Women like skinny men. You're gonna sit there and tell me that's the reason? Stop capping, bruh.
Stop capping, dog. Stop. Like, T.O., you went to college. You're 6'3" black.
6'3", man.
And the build of somebody who you're 55 years old. You're in your 50s and you have an 8-pack right now. Stop it.
Bro, whatever grudge you have, maybe one black man made fun of that nigga. He just never let it go. Like, because T.O. does hold grudges, but man, let it go.
But my thing, what men do with black men who have that thought process, and there's the second half to the quote. I'm going to read that in fairness to T.O., right? But the niggas that say, this is why, you're mad because you're essentially saying these girls made fun of me, which is what they're supposed to do because that's what kids do.
Right.
I'm going to hold on to that grudge for the rest of my life.
It's like, you never heard the old saying, like, oh, when they tease you, they like you? Like stop the cap, bro. Like, T.O., like, I'm disappointed in T.O. for this one, Herbie. Like, I really am, dog. When I saw that shit pop up on my social media, I was like, what? Like, this nigga can't be serious, dog.
I'm a corny nigga, right? I'm a corny nigga. I've been corny my whole life. I hear a lot of niggas saying black girls don't like corny dudes. They want a certain type of dude. No. Black girls or black women don't like corny niggas who don't know they're corny.
Yep.
If you are a self-aware, corny-ass nigga,
you're going to get all the black women you want.
You're going to get all the black women you want.
Big facts.
Because you have the self-awareness to know you're in on the joke. You have the humility and the self-deprecation to embrace and lean into the corniness. If you a corny nigga that don't know you corny, the only thing you gonna do is scare the hoes, nigga. T.O., you was scaring the hoes. I can say this with great intuity. T.O. seems like a corny nigga. And that's just the reality of the situation. They didn't make fun of you. They didn't go for your corny shit. You know who went for your corny shit? The white women.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a case of black women rejecting you. They weren't attracted to the corny nigga that you didn't realize you were. You probably thought you were cooler than you are because you played football. You probably thought you were cooler than you were because you were 6'3". You thought you were cooler than you were because you had an athletic build. And it didn't work the way you wanted to work on black women. Because black women a lot of times don't give a fuck about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know who don't give a fuck about that shit? White women. Which is why he specifically said white women.
Yep.
White women are going to fuck off rip. So not only, in my opinion, because it's an opinion, and this is my allegation that I'm subjugating T.O. to, not only are you lying about what really happened, you're dragging black women essentially for not finding you attractive, but not understanding why they didn't find you attractive. Terrell, like, I know what it was like to not be able to get to not be the eye of black women. Now I am. My whole phone is black women. The only people I date are black women. You see me on FaceTime, bitches call me, bro. You ever hear a white bitch on my phone, Rod?
I don't think I've ever heard a white woman on your phone, Herbie. Like my entire life. Like, I don't even think I've ever seen a Spanish girl on your phone,
You haven't.
Like, it's always been black women.
Always been black women.
Yeah.
I'm as corny as they come, dog. I'm as corny as they come. I'm fat. I'm out of shape. I'm not even in my prime anymore, dog. I'm washed. And I'm still pulling black women. Mm-hmm. So how the fuck you couldn't, T.O.? Stop. Don't bring them into your bullshit, dog.
Just admit your truth.
Listen,
just admit the truth, man.
We hold black women accountable. We hold all women accountable on this podcast when they need to be held accountable, in our opinion. This ain't one of those situations.
Not even close. No.
They was minding their business.
And he just came for him.
Dragged them into some shit that they ain't got nothing to do with.
Yep.
So I hate niggas like T.O. I hate the goofy niggas who got to blame black women for their shortcomings. And I always will, bro, because I've realized how easy it is to get black women, bro. So I know you niggas is lying now, bro.
And, you know, I guess the saddest part about it is guys like T.O., what they fail to understand is that the one thing I could really appreciate about black women, as opposed to dealing with other women, is that, and I could actually say this about Hispanic women too, but like, they gonna tell you how it is, bro. And like, some people just don't know how to take that. You know what I mean? And listen, if someone's telling you how it is and they're joking with you about it, there's no need to be offended, Herbie, because we all have room for growth. So some people take that and they feel insulted, and instead of growing, they shy away. And that just kind of tells you what kind of person they are. You know, T.O. is the kind of guy who needs yes men in his corner, because he doesn't, like, you know, when you go against what he thinks, automatically, I'm not going to say automatically, but I guess if you're not close enough with him, you're kind of viewed as like, oh, you're a traitor, you're an enemy. But at the end of the day, like, someone who's willing to keep it real with you, you kind of want those people in your corner. And that's one thing I will always say about black women. Like, black women will often tell you how it is. And if you don't know how to take it, nigga, that's on you. But the truth is the truth, nigga.
Absolutely, bro. So I'm going to go ahead and read the end of his quote, and then we can move on to the next thing we're going to talk about. So this is the continuation of what he was talking about with Chad Ochocinco.
Yes, sir.
There was a lot of self-esteem issues. I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, my first experience with a white girl, it was like, okay, it wasn't bad. T.O. insists he didn't mean he only, in quotations, gravitated toward white women, nor did he, in quotations, deter him from still dating or pursuing black girls. End quote. Next quote. My thing now is because I know there is a stigma that stereotypical athletes, you know, they go off and make money and date the opposite color, the opposite race. But for me, where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race for me. For me, it's about somebody that gave me some chemistry with and good energy, and I got a good vibe with. That's where I'm at. So I don't want to make it seem like T.O. only dates white women. We're not calling T.O. Robert Griffin III, bro. We not.
Right.
However, at this age, to still not understand that what you're saying, your perception of what happened, is more than likely not the truth. You're 50 years old. You could be at a point where you got to have the self-awareness and the honesty with yourself to say, dog, I don't really think those black women were making fun of me. I just didn't work for them. But I don't know why I didn't work for them. I asked myself that in my own personal life. Why is it not working? Then I figured it out. I didn't blame black women. I blame myself for not being appealing to them.
That follows, and that's for every man, for every kind of woman, dog. Like, whenever men get mad and they blame women, that's when I know you lame, dog. That's when I know you lame, because if they don't like you and you upset about it, it's, nigga, you haven't realized what's wrong with you.
Exactly.
Like, don't be mad at you. You can't be mad at an entire gender for not liking you, because those numbers don't add up.
The numbers do not add up.
It can't be just, oh, all women are wrong. No, bruh. You have to look at, well, wait, if all of them ain't fucking with me, what's wrong? That's how you gotta look at it. But a lot of these dudes are so, I don't even know where to get. It's not even confidence. They're just so, like, full of themselves. And it's just like, how can you be full of yourself and yet you offer nothing? Now, this obviously I'm not talking about T.O. in this instance, but I'm just talking about men who are like-minded like him, that haven't achieved the heights that he has, that are like, because I've seen these dudes, like, you've seen them too, Herbie, like on my Facebook. Anytime you see a motherfucker who's willing to make a social media post and sit there and be like, yo, I'm a nice guy. These women this, these women that. It's just like, dude, if you have to say that you're nice,
nigga alive, bro.
If you have to tell people, if you have to have a PSA that you're a nice guy, the odds are you're probably not as nice as you actually think you are. And you actually just might be a deluded fucking weirdo.
And you don't deserve pussy just because you're nice.
Not even close, right? That's the part that kills me too. It's just like, bro, being nice is the most basic human function. Like, you're supposed to be nice to people. like how is that supposed to get you some ass? Like, you think just like holding the door for a bitch automatically means she's supposed to bend over right there, bro? Like, get real, my nigga. Like, but there's dudes who really be thinking like that, dog, and it blows me anytime I see it, bro. Like, it's embarrassing, man.
Nah, that shit is funny, man. All right, man, let's transition. Let's transition over to the next thing that I want to talk about, man. It's something that you're very familiar with, bro. It is your basketball team, dog. And normally we have these discussions on the Sports Bros portion of our pod, but this is something that, in my opinion, really transcends sports. It's just about interpersonal relationships that men have amongst men, right?
Yeah.
So the thing that happened with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green, where Draymond Green infamously punched him, knocked him to his feet, absolutely devastated the team. The chemistry from the team was never there. It's cost you guys a championship. This man cost you 2 championships, essentially, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like, unbelievable, dog.
That's Draymond.
Like, that's unbelievable, bro. But the reason that we bringing it back up and we talking about it again is the actual specifics of what led up to the punch came out. There was a lot of, what was this, that, and the third, you feel me? But to actually find out what actually happened,
right,
is even funnier, bro.
Yeah, it's funnier than you could even imagine.
It's funnier than you could imagine, bro. So if you're not up to it, you can watch. I would tell you to go watch Gilbert Arenas' breakdown on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He's very connected. He's plugged in, and it's hilarious at the same time. But long story short, bro, Draymond took it upon himself like he always does, which is to be maximum Draymond and just be annoying and rub it in people's faces when he's up or when he's a part of a winning situation. The winning situation that we're talking about now is him being on Steph Curry's team with the first team going against the second team and winning majority of games, because obviously you're going to win if you have Steph Curry in practice.
Right.
Him talking shit to all the young guys and, being Draymond. The same shit that rubbed fucking Kevin Durant and got him, that made that nigga not even want to be a part of the team anymore, bro.
Right.
The worst version of Draymond, right? Here's the problem. Your head coach can't be out here putting putting batteries in niggas' backs, dog. Rod, your head coach can't be telling niggas, nah, you gonna let that nigga talk to you like that, dog? You're not finna stand up for yourself? Your head coach can't be charging niggas up, Rod. I'm sorry,
man, but he comes from an era where he played with Jordan, bro.
That is true. That is very true.
Steve Kerr's mentality is like, nigga talk to you, man, you talk back. They push you push back. They punch you punch back. That's Steve Kerr has that old school 90s mentality, man. I don't even blame him for that shit.
Nah, dog, the shit is crazy though, right? Like,
dog,
it's crazy, right?
It's super crazy, bro.
Like, for all the success he has, for everything that he has done, Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time champion, at his core, he's a bitch-ass bully, bro. He's just a bitch-ass nigga at his core. I have never seen that nigga go at anybody that wasn't smaller than him, ever.
Yeah. Outside of, like, not even go at, but kicking dudes like Steven Adams in the nuts. That's close as
Steven Adams ain't gonna retaliate. That's the nicest dude in the world, bro.
Right.
Like, Steven Adams don't give a fuck, dog.
Right.
Like, he's calculating who he picks on, bro. You picking on Jordan Poole in practice, saying that nigga trash, y'all never gonna win. All Jordan Poole did was stand up for himself. But Jordan Poole made the mistake of saying the one thing that Draymond deep down in his core know, bro. Draymond and Drake are the same dude, bro. One's just light-skinned, one is just a dark-skinned motherfucker, dog. But at their core, they're insecure-ass niggas. Jordan Poole told that nigga, you an expensive backpack, dog. That's an Easter. That's a bar. That's a bar.
That cut deep.
That cut very deep.
That cut deep, man.
Draymond knows more than anybody. If he did not play with Stephen Curry, he would not be a Hall of Famer, dog.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
That nigga say, what you gonna do, ride 30s back again? Jordan Poole was giving them niggas the business. Drove him crazy. Every time Draymond missed a layup, oh shit. Oh, I guess you need 30 for real. Oh shit, you missed that? Where 30 at?
Get in his head.
Ask 30 to help you out. You know you gotta ride 30. Where 30? I think it really bothered him because it came from a teammate.
Right.
He's like, this nigga telling me that, my own teammate telling me that. Draymond, you've been calling this nigga trash for 2 practices, for 2 weeks straight, bro.
Hey, if you're gonna dish it out, you better be able to take it. Right? Isn't that supposed to be the rule? Guess if Draymond didn't know the rule, or just didn't give a fuck.
Bruh. So, you just being your team, how do you feel about this, dog?
I mean, Herbie, I'll be honest, when it comes to Draymond Green and his tenure with the Warriors, the way I feel about him is split in 2 ways, right? Because I loved him. I've always loved him as a player, as a part of the team, because the Warriors just don't have the success, the dynasty that they have, because no matter what anybody says, and I know this isn't about his play, him as a player, he is one of the best. I want to say, I guess maybe he's a Hall of Fame role player, if that makes any sense. Like, there are guys that are just known for what they were able to bring to a championship team. They were never the main guy, and he's one of those guys. So I'll always appreciate what he brought to the table there. But I'll be honest, Herbie, all the way from back when he got suspended in the 2016 finals, where the Cavs came back and won. Since that time, I've always had like a little bit of disdain for him, because I always felt like he was the one who spearheaded the Warriors meltdown / the Cavs comeback. Based on, I know him being suspended for 1 game doesn't determine the result, but him being suspended for that game snowballed into a situation that backfired big time against the Warriors. So I've always had a little bit of resentment for Draymond because of that. I was fucking with him up until that point. And, you know, he's an integral part of the team, so I was always able to separate that from my personal feelings. But when I heard about what Jordan Poole said to him, like, bro, like, he had every right to say what he said. And Draymond swinging on him just shows how weak-minded he is. Because, dude, if it'd be one thing if Jordan Poole was coming for him and he wasn't instigating. That's not what happened. Like, Draymond, being the person he is an instigator all the time. But you got to be able to take that shit, Herbie. Like, I don't care if it's your teammate. I don't care what it is. Like, if you're going to be the one to be the initiator when it comes to making fun of people and talking shit, nigga, you better be able to back that shit up without getting your feelings hurt, bro. And the fact that Draymond got his feelings hurt, hit Jordan Poole, and essentially threw the whole Warrior season out of whack. The fact that we got it to the second round off of just Steph Curry being great, Herbie. Like, in that Game 7, he was phenomenal. Like, he was the main nigga that showed up in that series. But when you look at the Warriors team, the way they played throughout the season, you could see, people talked about it. Like it was something that you could visually, it was apparent on the court that the chemistry was off. And to be honest, Herbie, I've been sick of Draymond shit for a long time. But it's a toxic relationship because I know we need him.
The fact that y'all still need him at this stage of his career,
need him,
bro.
Dog. It's
like, and he's still a good player.
Right.
He's not as good as he used to be. He can still be effective in the regular season, but you've seen in the playoffs, dog. You've seen his deficiencies, bro.
He's a lemon, bro. He can't even make shots anymore, Herbie. And he's not the defender. He's still a really good defender, but
he's a really good defender.
His
in the
impact
regular
ain't the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah, the impact's not the same.
It's just not the same.
It's not, dog.
Like, y'all niggas was food for 2 rounds, bro.
Yeah, big facts. If Sabonis shows up against the Kings, we don't get past those things.
And the reason why Sabonis didn't show up is wasn't because of Draymond. It's because Sabonis wasn't ready for the pressure, dog.
Man, that boy, he had super lemon booty, dog.
He had lemon booty, bro. It wasn't nothing that Draymond was doing. So y'all just gave this nigga 400 for 100, bro. So you guys are the most backward organization ever. Y'all let's y'all fuck it. We going as old as possible. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, let's get Chris Paul. Yeah, that'll help.
Didn't y'all sign Dwight Howard?
They were in talks about signing Dwight Howard. I don't know if it was made official.
Y'all get Dwight Howard and Chris Paul on the same team. Y'all niggas not a serious organization, dog. Y'all not a serious organization, bro.
The team of old men, dog.
Y'all not a serious organization, dog.
Herbie, all I think about is the Wiseman pick, dog. Like, we squandered the fuck out of that, man. And he might end up actually being good for Detroit because he put up good numbers last year for him, but it was just a waste of a pick for us.
Y'all are so unserious, bro.
It's so unserious. Like, you know what it is? They're treating Steph Curry like a great quarterback in the NFL. Like, oh, you know what? We're just going to throw whatever around you. We know you'll carry us at least to the playoffs. But basketball is different, Herbie. You want to know why? Because, it's a 7-game fucking series, man. It's not just a do or die, sudden death game. It's you got to play a series, Herbie, and you could have one of the greatest players in the world. But if your team isn't essentially structurally good, then you're just going to be bounced in 6 or 7 games like we were against the fucking Lakers. Like, it's just, to me, when I look at the state of the Warriors, we just look like a second-round exit again. Like, I don't feel like, we're going to be back in the championship hunt. We have the cachet, so all the talking heads and analysts are going to say, oh, yeah, the Warriors are going to be in it for the championship, but I don't see us beating the Nuggets in the West. I don't even see us beating the Lakers. Like, what did we do to get better than them? What did we do to stop them? I didn't see it.
Y'all lose. It was a 5-game series, right?
6.
It's a 4-game series this time, bro. Like, they've gotten better, more depth. You guys got older, bro.
We got older, and what happens with old guys? Oh, they get injured. You don't see them. They play less minutes. They're obviously not as effective. Like, come on, man.
Did y'all forget the reason what made y'all so dangerous is that y'all were a big team?
A big team with a lot of depth, which we don't have depth either. So we don't have size or depth. So what are we going to do? And the shooting, who's shooting? Like, Jordan Poole's gone. So we have Steph Curry. Klay Thompson's not the same, Herbie. Anybody who watched those fucking playoffs knows that. He's not the same. We have a kid we drafted. His name escapes me. He's promising. A little white boy. He could shoot, but he's a rookie. Like, I'm not expecting big things from him in his first year. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, we're not. Herbie, when it comes to the Warrior, when it comes to Draymond, like, I'm honest with if Draymond would have left, I would have been cool, Herbie. Like, I wouldn't have cared. And I think a lot of Warriors fans feel the same way, too.
I'm going to ask you one more question before we go on and to the last topic and then close out the show. Now that you see it, how much do you think Draymond is having a negative effect on the young guys? Do you think that's the reason why you guys keep going old? Because it's like, do you think he had a psychological effect on Wiseman? You know he had a psychological effect on Jordan Poole.
You know, Herbie, to be honest with you, that's not something I actually considered. But if the Jordan Poole situation is any indication, then it seems like Draymond, who once upon a time was a leader, is becoming more of a cancer than a leader, right? Because it's one thing to, like, you have to be able to balance it. Like, right, if you're going to talk trash to the young guys, you also got to know when to lift them up. Like, it can't just always be you talking shit. And maybe that's how Draymond always was. And Steph Curry would be the one to kind of swoop under and do damage control. But now we're at a point where we don't have, like, we can't, like, that doesn't work. Especially when
you're not good enough.
You took the word. I was going to say, these guys don't respect you, Draymond. Like, they know what you've done, but they know who you are. So at the end of the day, you could do all that tough guy shit, talking shit, at the end of the day, Draymond, since you don't really have any skills other than being a great defender and having a high IQ and being able to pass the ball, like you're a regular triple single, dog. The term triple single was made famous because of you. Young players coming in knowing that with the way that he acts, I mean, it's looking like it's not working out. And Jordan Poole would have been a really valuable player for us to have on the Warriors. Like, he was off the whole year. And I bashed him a lot, but I can understand that he was in a place he didn't want to be. And you will never perform well in a toxic place when you feel like it's toxic. Like, Draymond might not feel the toxicity because he's a made man. He is a made man in Golden State. That doesn't mean that the people coming in there are going to have to take his shit either. And if that continues, Herbie, I mean, the Warriors' run will end quicker than I thought.
I mean, if it ends, bro, you got 4 rings out of it, dog. That's more than people can say, bro. So.
Listen, man, I enjoyed this ride. I'm a Dolphins fan and a Marlins fan. And even though the Marlins, man, what a pathetic exit in the playoffs. I'm not even going to get into that. But I got to see my favorite team in basketball win some championships. So if I have to suffer for the rest of my life.
Bro, please tell me the Jets are on offense, bro.
The Jets are on offense right now.
All right. They was about to fuck my money up, dog.
It's 13-8 right now.
That's fine.
What a crazy score.
That's beautiful, bro. As long as these niggas don't throw a pick six, dog, I'm in the clear, bro. That's shit. All right, man. Last topic, man. Go ahead. You lead it, man. What did you want to talk about for the last topic, man?
Last topic, I was just going to make some mentions. I know those of y'all who are Star Wars fans out there, Disney people, Ashoka. And Herbie, you haven't watched Ashoka, right?
Not a single minute.
You know what, man? I'm going to say that you didn't miss anything. And here, let me tell you, when I first started watching the first few episodes, I was digging it, Herbie. Like, I was thinking, like, okay, maybe Star Wars might be turning things around. Maybe Dave Filoni got it right. But watching how it started to where it ended, and I'm sure there's going to be a season 2 because, Herbie, I've never watched a show. Look, I understand that when you plan these series and you plan for multiple seasons and you have confidence that you're going to get to the next season, you're going to leave certain things unresolved. But Herbie, I can't think of a show where nothing happened in 8 episodes more than Ahsoka.
More than Boba Fett?
Like, no, Herbie, nothing. The only thing that happens in Ahsoka, and this is spoilers for those of you who haven't watched it, the only thing that happens in Ahsoka is that Ahsoka and Sabine Wren switch places with Thrawn and Ezra. That's it. That's literally the only thing that happens. Thrawn and Ezra were far away on a planet that only the fucking Star Whales could get to. Fucking, the season builds up with Ahsoka and Sabine, hunting down, trying to find Thrawn, trying to find Ezra. And their whole plot, the whole point of them in the first season is to get Ezra back and to stop Thrawn. They fail completely to stop Thrawn. And, Ezra ends up sneaking on Thrawn's ship and ends up finding the Republic. Like, that shit was just a fucking mess, Herbie. Like, the more I thought, like, when I finished watching the first season, I kept thinking to myself, like, is this it? Like, because, so the main characters get stranded on the planet that they went to go save their homeboy who was stranded on that same planet. Now they're stranded. Okay, cool. The Jedis, the dark Jedis they were fighting, also R.I.P. Ray Stevenson, who was a great actor. He died recently. He played Lord Balin on Ahsoka. This nigga's whole thing was like he wanted to find the beginning of the beginning. We only see him at the end, just kind of see a light to where it is. They kind of referenced it. It's the same reference to what happens to Anakin in Clone Wars, right? And ironically, Herbie, the best part of Ahsoka was Anakin, because their characterization of him was closer to the Clone Wars than it was to the movies. So the little bits and pieces that we saw of him were nice, but Ahsoka herself, like, I've never seen a show, Herbie, where I was super excited to finally see a live-action Sabine and a live-action Ezra. And for those of you listening, these characters were on Star Wars Rebels, which is a part of the continuity, like the official continuity of the Star Wars timeline. It was great to see Thrawn, but Thrawn was dumb, Herbie. Thrawn is supposed to be a genius tactician. His strategies made no sense to me. Like, I'm like, there were times he had the heroes dead to rights, and then he'd be like, just let him go. And it's just like, what? Like he's a genius tactician. Like, what are you doing? And Ahsoka's personality, Sabine's personality, even Hera, like Hera had personality in Rebels. In Ahsoka, all she does is just remind everybody she's the fucking general all the time. Like fucking Ezra has no personality. Like Ezra is the ultimate, and he's just the ultimate beta male in this shit, dog. They say, hey, Ezra, bark, and he barks. Like Ezra has no personality other than just being a happy nigga. This nigga was stranded on a planet for 10 years, hiding from one of the most dangerous people in the galaxy, and he's just happy-go-lucky. He's just happy to do whatever anybody tells him. And then you have Ahsoka, who, I don't know, man. She's just the most depressing character that I've seen in this shit.
So you could unequivocally say that this is the worst characterization of her in the Disney timeline.
She is, and I was arguing and I feel bad. I got to call my brother and let him know he was right, because we kind of got into an argument in Boston. Not an argument, but like a little debate about it.
Yeah.
And you know, he was just like, nah, man, I don't fuck. I was like, what, Rosario Dawson? Ahsoka?
No. I don't mean. I'm talking about specifically in the Ahsoka show, because I liked her.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. We were talking about Ahsoka because I went there like maybe halfway through the series. So, you know, I was telling him like, no, man, but the more I watched it, I was like, she just like Ahsoka is just so just depressing, and she doesn't have much personality. None of the characters have much personality, Herbie. And I remember watching Rebels. They all had personality in Rebels. They were all characters that were very distinct, and they had motivations. Like, here's the thing, Herbie. They teased a lot of great things. Like, for example, at the end, they bring up the idea, Thrawn brings up the idea that maybe Ahsoka could follow the dark side. But that's a plot line they should have integrated in this season, because you already showed Anakin. Like, there were no real obstacles. There was nothing to really push the characters. And then, you know, the fight choreography was, I was just like, man, like Ahsoka's supposed to be a badass, but it looks like it's hard for Rosario to swing these sabers, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there were just so many. I wanted to like it so badly, Herbie, but the one thing that I can't do as a person is that I can't blind myself to filth, dog. I can't blind myself to something that's bad. Like, if I know something's bad and I like it, that's one thing. I can live with that. But when I want to like something, but I can't because it's bad, it kills me. Because I wanted to like Ahsoka because, you know, I felt like, okay, maybe they can really turn a corner with Star Wars. And to me, ultimately, it was just wasted potential. Kenobi, wasted potential. Boba Fett, wasted. Star Wars has become nothing but wasted potential. They have a whole trilogy that is wasted potential. And I'm just over that shit, dog. Like, Disney, just sell that shit to somebody, bro. Y'all niggas ain't doing shit with Star Wars, dog.
The problem is that the people that are involved, for the most part, are the people that we know made good shit.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni gave me the Clone Wars.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing of Star Wars lore ever.
Honestly, that's Herbie. Even if you're not a super Star Wars person like me who read books and shit, if you watch Clone Wars, that's the best of Star Wars you're going to get in the medium. Like, outside of the books, dog. Like, if you watch Clone Wars, you don't even need to watch the movies. That's the best you're going to get from Star Wars, in my opinion, as a Star Wars fan. So, you had the guy who gave us that, and I don't know if there was interference in the background.
There's always interference in the background,
that's
bro.
normally what it is. You know, this is the Kathleen Kennedy shit. I think this is like the remnants of that. But it's just, I've just never seen a show, Herbie, like Sabine, Herbie. Sabine's plan completely fucks everybody because she's basically the one that leads the villains to Thrawn. And there's no remorse in her, dog. Like, she's just like, oh, well, like, she believes Ahsoka's dead. But like, when they bring her up, she acts like Ahsoka's not even dead. Like, it doesn't matter that she's dead. Like, she shows no emotional weight. Like, there was no emotion. There was no character. There was no real good characterization at all. And these are characters, Herbie, that they have a template. They have 4 seasons worth of a template that you could go off of to find like their personalities. But to see just the wooden acting, to see just the bad logic in a lot of scenes, it was just, I don't know, man. It's just like, y'all pour all this money into this shit and you still can't capture what makes it great. And that's just disheartening, man. Like, I think I'm ready. I never thought I'd say this, Herbie, but I think I'm ready to give up on the Disney Star Wars shit, man. Because, like, how many times can I be fucking disappointed, bro? Like, how many times can I be disappointed?
Dog, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I made it to like 2 or 3 episodes of the last season of Mandalorian, and I'm just like, I'm not interested. I didn't watch Boba Fett. I didn't watch a minute of Kenobi. And I never got around to Ahsoka. I saw good things, but then I'm like, I'm not falling for the trick.
No
dog.
payoff, man.
I'm not falling.
They set up things good, and it just goes. It's like, dude, there's more shit I could get into, but it's not even worth it, though.
That's the sad part, bro. Like they beat it out of you, they beat it out of me, and again, we are on two different aspects of this. I'm not the fan that you are, right?
Yeah.
I'm a casual observer. I like it. I know about it. I know enough about it. I know enough about the lore. You feel me? Like I can tell you about the ruler too, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? So I know enough to be invested. I want to say, but they beat it out of me a while ago, bro. Like
yeah. You a cut bait quick, man.
When I went to go watch, what's the third movie?
Oh man, what's the third movie? Rise of Skywalker.
When I went to go watch Rise of Skywalker, that was a disaster. That was a disaster. That is when I said I am done.
Yeah, man. That'll do it. That'll do it.
I'm done. Like I didn't fall for the Mandalorian. Like what always blew me about the fanfare Mandalorian got. I'm like, if Mandalorian came out in the 80s, the 90s, or the mid 2000s, the same storytelling, the same level of writing, you niggas would say this shit is whack.
Yeah, right. Right.
Just because something is okay in a sea of trash doesn't mean it's great.
Right.
And if that's the best you got to offer, dog, I don't want none of y'all shit, bro.
Yep.
I wasn't going to fall for the trick. Like, are you going to tell me Tim Gilroy is going to make everything? Yeah, because he made Andor. I know what I was going to get, so I was invested to watch Andor.
Right.
Same team behind Rogue One. I love Rogue One.
Yep. One of the best Star Wars films. Easy.
I got a masterpiece of a show in Andor.
Andor is the best shit they put out. That's what I was hoping Ahsoka would be.
But the thing about Andor is it's good independent of being Star Wars related.
Absolutely.
It's just a good show, period.
It's just great. It's just everything about it too. The writing, the acting, everything.
I know I'm not going to get that. So I never said I'm going to watch Ahsoka, bro. I'm done, dog. And it hurts me because I know you want to. You love Star Wars.
I love Star Wars. Herbie, I was talking up Ahsoka like, oh man, these first few episodes, I'm really fucking with it. Like Herbie, I'll admit it. Like I'm not a nigga that's blind. Like I always keep it 100. But like when I finally watched the season finale, I was just like, I felt so empty at the end, and that's when it clicked. I was just like, yeah, I didn't really like this. That's a feeling like, you know what I mean? Like Herbie, when you like something, there's no questioning, you don't think about it. You just, you're satisfied. I wasn't satisfied. Like I came away from it like, that's it? Like y'all you're just not going to resolve any plot points? You're just saving everything for season 2? Okay, all right. You're not going to explain to me how Ezra was able to sneak away from the Empire and get to the Republic? Like he was just able to sneak out. You don't have any context. You're just gonna show weird shit that happens between the fucking Lord Balin and then his apprentice who goes off and just raises her lightsaber to some soldiers and that's it. Like you just nothing. Like y'all just not gonna explain nothing. You just yeah, Sabine and Ahsoka are stranded on a planet. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll just figure it out. Like Herbie, man, to me that shit. Like you guys spend so much money on this stuff. Like this kind of shit is unacceptable, bro. Like it's just. Man.
But Rod, it's been a long time of this, bro. The Force Awakens came out in 2015, dog. You know that, right?
That's the last really good Star Wars thing they came out with outside of Andor and the first season of The Mandalorian.
Like 2015.
That's crazy.
So this is almost a decade of mediocrity. That's impossible. 2015. There's a lot of projects. You just said 3 of them are good. Huh?
Really 2 1/3.
What?
That's insanity, bro. I can't believe Star Wars got to that point.
To your point, I like Rogue One. I like Andor. And to me, Mandalorian season 1 was cool. That's 2.5 in 8 years, Rod.
And they've put out a bunch more. It's not like that's it. Like it's. Like, I don't mean to pile on and out, about it. And I'm not one of those dudes who's angry about because there are guys out there, like, I see it on the internet, niggas who just like, the Force is female. Like, there's some guys who take it personally. I don't really care about that. If you want to make the Force female, fuck it, go ahead. I don't give a shit. But give me good writing. Give me good characters. Give me a good plot. Like, give me something to want. Don't just say the Force is female. Give me female characters. Make them do stupid shit and don't have any accountability for it. I already see that in real life. Like, give me some really good storytelling with these women. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one of the things I was excited. Like, Ahsoka's one of my favorite female characters, bro. Like, cause if you grew up watching Clone Wars, she was always dope. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and she was good in other stuff. Like, she was good in The Mandalorian. So like I was expecting her. I was expecting better from her in this, but just the way they characterized her in this, it just, I don't know, shit just wasn't adding up. The whole Sabine trying to be a Jedi. And I know that she's from, she's a descendant of the Mandalorian who could use the Force. Like, I get that, but like the way they went about it was just like, huh? Like,
it was lazy, uninspired,
completely.
unoriginal, and it is what it is, bro.
This
is where we at, dog.
That's where we're at.
But with that though, man, I just hate to see this, bro. My brother, dog, like, I'm really passionate about this, dog.
I live, man. You know what, Herbie? I'm just waiting for the next Andor. That's all, man. I'm just waiting for the next Andor.
Man. And with that, man, we'll see y'all next week, man. Deuces.